Sure.
Cool. Legend. So yes, thanks for everybody's time this afternoon. So Aaron Grant, I'm the General Manager of Power Quality Global for AZZO, originally from Canada, and definitely have always had a passion and continue to have a passion for, well, to use what Jared just said, get things right with power quality. I think it's I might coin that phrase. But yeah, power quality is really one of those probably appreciated areas for electrical. And that goes back even pre-VSD days. But as we go through the green energy transformation, we actually have that increasing in spades as we go along. So the purpose of this presentation, I'll try and keep it relatively short just because I really want Phil to be able to have his opportunity to talk about his site. But while we go through it, it's really just to try and emphasize the change of culture we need to have. We've gone through a lot of culture changes over the years, whether it's wearing a seatbelt, not talking on your phone as you drive, the list goes on. And this is one of those major culture shifts that we really want to try and be aware of. So just for those who don't know, so AZZO is actually a global engineering company. We specialize in systems integration for energy management, power quality and energy management, and renewable energy transformation. And our solutions really do range from simple energy monitoring to utility scale power monitoring and control system, including energy operation. So in terms of what is power quality, I mean, this is showing what poor power quality is, and it's a little bit of a a very, very quick slide, but essentially what you see on the bottom left there, you want to see a nice smooth sine wave, which is your electrical grid. Certainly batteries that has been mentioned, they provide that very, very well overall, but the issue is a lot of times the loads end up causing the waveform to look like this on the bottom right hand side. And all of that really comes from all these events that you see around. They both cause poor power quality health, as well as it's a result of poor power quality. But when we look at poor power quality, and again, we're not going to go through this in detail. Anybody wants to reach out and discuss it, more than happy to. With all the distributed energy resources, or DERs, that are happening out there, we really need to make sure that we provide as clean a landscape as we can in terms of power quality health. It's no different than deciding you're going to go on a nice big hike and you haven't actually taken a look at whether or not you're healthy and ready for that. The hike is great, it's important, but you want to obviously get ready for that. So you'll generally hear terms that I use that really do have a strong connection between the human biology and site biology, because there's actually a lot of connections. But power quality disturbances, I'm not going to go through them all here, but you can see what they are. A lot of sites nowadays do have sags and swells. But then you also have the big underlying one, which I really focus a lot on, is harmonics. Now the question is oftentimes, what does harmonics come from? Again, just a very quick answer to it is ultimately, if you're looking at anything that is a power supply, so your phone or VSD, lighting upgrades, whatever, those are all nonlinear loads, and they actually distort the sine wave. Again, happy to discuss this with anybody offline if we want to look in a bit deeper detail. But the big question is that we always ask is, what is your power quality health? So again, no different than the human. You know, I'm over 40, so I definitely need to get those checkups. I might be feeling fine, but I want to make sure that I'm healthy. Or I'm actually very self-aware and I just feel that slight stitch on my side that I don't think should be there, so I go and get checked out. 80% of power quality issues with most sites actually occur from the site itself. So that's a very sobering number when given how many people don't believe they have any power quality issues. It's probably because they're not aware of the symptoms. So symptoms versus problems. But reality is, and Phil will talk to this a little bit, in about 50% of those incidents actually are mission critical. So they can cause devastating effects to the site. It could be interruptions to the process plant. It can be actual fires, which I have seen happen. But they can definitely cost quite a lot of money and really cause a big headache for the bottom line at customer sites. But the reality is, as we go on, it's very, very positive, and AZZO is really at the leading edge of this, is looking for the green energy transformation and decarbonization. But the truth of it is that energy efficiency initiatives actually create power quality issues. It's the nature of increased efficiency. And so it's not ever saying, don't go down that path. It's just going, let's just pause and consider, think about, is my site health there. And when Phil will talk, that's exactly the journey that Patties went on. Initially, it was to decarbonize, but first we went, well, hold on, we had a look at the data, and your site actually requires a lot of power quality assistance. And now that it has occurred, it's ready for the green initiatives. But as a result of getting power quality healthy, the site has actually saved a boatload of money, and uptime has dramatically increased as well. So without going through all the details here, basically the green initiatives often do lead to, as we said, power quality issues. And with that increased occurrence, you're going to have facility production shutdown or breakdowns, definitely higher energy costs, maintenance, replacement costs, fire and property damage. The thing that I always like to point out to people is oftentimes customers will say, oh, we don't have any issues. And look, if you don't, happy days, it's fantastic. But a lot of the times it's because the symptoms aren't identified as potentially, and not all the time are they, but they're potentially connected back to power quality. And sometimes it's just a settings change in a VSD. Sometimes it's a lot more than that. It can be active harmonic mitigation. It can be dynamic voltage restoration, you name it. But with all this, what AZZO really focuses on is our EnergyX platform that we've developed. And what it allows you to do is take all the edge level devices that you have and any that you don't have and upgrade them so that we can actually integrate them into an online cloud hosted platform that's ISO 27001 cyber secure, which is really quite critical in this age. And all that red center turns into the green center, where you do become more resilient, lower energy costs, lower maintenance costs, and property value increases. And again, these are all things that Phil will be able to briefly mention. Really, the thing is when you look at that third column there, what power qualities can lead to is damaging to site. It can be accelerated equipment wear. So oftentimes, you might want to look at your maintenance budget. Has it been increasing over years, or has it been staying the same? But you've never actually looked at ways of actually reducing that. Well, chances are, probably if you remedied power quality, then you have a higher likelihood of actually reducing insulation aging, for example, or accelerated equipment wear. But even energy bills, again, Phil will be able to comment on that briefly, that power quality, it's not, if you just look at energy, which is the fundamental in the sine wave, if you want to look at everything that's embedded in that sine wave, whereas what showed that before, that sine wave was all dirty, is that your power? Because if it is, that's wastage. There's a lot of waste that's in there. And so if you fix your power quality, you will actually reduce your energy usage overall. So what EnergyX through AZZO actually provides for, we provide for power quality performance reporting. We can do post-event analysis, so we can actually do disturbance direction detection, which tells you if the event is from upstream or downstream. So obviously, if you can go to the utility or somewhere on your site, where did it come from? And certainly power quality compliance tracking as well. So 519, 61000, 3-7, and 4-30, et cetera, et cetera. Ultimately, a lot of PQ events lead to a myriad of issues. And one of the sites I'll just show you quickly here, which was this is the load profile, or the sine wave that was captured. And ultimately, what the sine wave looked like, which I'm sure most of the people on this call would recognize this, the yellow line is actually what their RMS sine waves look like for the current. Which is the standard rabbit ears that happen with VSDs, et cetera. And so they actually couldn't run their cogens for about 3 years as a result. They had fires on site, et cetera. So we ended up doing a full power quality audit and analysis, and we're able to put in mitigation techniques as well as improving to set point changes. And as a result, the green sine wave is actually what happened from that. So it's incredibly amazing results. And what actually happened was the site was able to go back to their large cogens and had really good results from that. And when you do that, obviously this all leads to all these green words. I mean, it's just incredible when you see it. And again, Patties will speak to that, but you don't probably realize how much power quality is a concern until you look into it and then you fix it. And it's really quite exciting when we get to that level. So we're really at the forefront of this. As Jared indicated, I'm quite passionate, and we as a company are quite passionate about this. And we really do understand the landscape of how solar integrates, batteries integrate, and just how new load types integrate. And we use that experience in our projects across the suite of AZZO's offerings, and bring it back into the power quality aspect, where we again start with that health check. We find those issues, diagnose where they're coming from, recommend the solution, and implement that. And then we keep going down that line. Because it's all edge level, we have that direct access, which is really quite exciting. And generally, our customers really find a lot of value in that. Ultimately, the EnergyX platform allows for, as I said, proactive management, and really being as in-depth as we want or don't want to be. But ultimately, our services team, once customers engage with us, we maintain a strong connection with them for years to come, and fast turnaround on recommendations and discussion points. I'll just skip through this briefly just because of time, but the big question usually comes in is I don't have meters, what do I do? Or I only have energy meters, which is the standard meters that are out there. No problem. We've actually developed our own power quality meters, and they're designed fit for purpose, 4G enabled, go into the EnergyX platform, and you get to have a look at it and try it out at the same time. So it's a little bit of try before you buy as well, but it really enables my engineering team to do a very fast turnaround in terms of data analysis and data capture, and work with your installers on site if we want to try some set point changes and see how that has an effect. But again, power quality it's here, and it's here to stay, as a poor power quality, but there are means of which that we can obtain to improve them. And then the future is green. If we can fix these issues, which we can, the results are absolutely incredible. So yeah, thank you. That's it for me.
Thanks very much, Aaron, and we'll make sure everyone gets these slides and has your contact details here. You said the results have been excellent, and that's exactly why we have Phil McArdle here from Patties. Aaron, I'll get you to stop sharing. We'll get Phil to share his. We've got a few. Let's hit those results. I know Phil's very happy with AZZO. Let's hear about it.
Thanks, Jared. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you. So,
You got to hit that share there, Phil.
what did you?
Yep, that's just
Okay.
coming through now. Hit. Oh, wrong button.
It should be. It's very slow. Is that better?
Yep, we're in business. All yours.
Cool. Hi, everybody. Thank you. Yeah, I'll just take you through a few of Paddy's background and give you a bit of info of what we've been doing with AZZO and a few other partners who partnered up with AZZO for power quality. So this is Bairnsdale site down in Gippsland, Victoria. Site's been around, it's got 75-year brand history. Started up by a Dutch family back in 1976. Currently around 400 plus employees. But the big thing is, like, basically the site's the largest pie manufacturer in the world. That's what then high speed as well. So we do about 46,000 tonne per year, which equates to around 563 million individual pies or sausage rolls. So it's a fairly big operation, running 24 hours a day, 6 days a week. So we produce around 1 million kilos a week on average. We average around the 900,000, but we can produce up to 1 million kilos across those 6 days, 3 shifts. And you can see the big brands there of Paddy's, Herbert Adams, 4 and 20, and Boscastle. So the site did basically an overview, because we wanted to look at solar. I think this was back in 2022, but from AZZO doing the audit on the site and then looking at power quality, it was evident that we could not install solar in the condition the site was. The site had a lot of power issues over the years, and really didn't know what to do with it. They were just kind of, oops, sorry, jump forward there. They just basically put up with it. And so after what they saw from AZZO's audit, that we decided to do something about it. So the 12 months leading up to doing power quality, we had 448 hours downtime, which equates to about $70,000 in production. That's not in sales, that's just lost production. You basically scrap and lost output. So you can see the 82 failures across the 3 lines, and it was a myriad of different brownouts. So it's power quality was the thing basically to do. It was a sort of a no-brainer first to go in and then look at what we could do. So we installed 10 AHFs, the active harmonic filters, and 7 VSDs in our refrigeration plant. Apologies, I've lost one. Oh, there we go. So overview for site usage, 20,000 megawatts over the 12 months, a rough cost of $4 million, and emissions of 17,000 tonne, which equates to about 50 trees per tonne. So I have got a number, I think it's 80,000 trees I think we've saved since we turned it on. So for April 2024, we went live with the harmonic filters and the VSDs, and this has helped with energy saving on site of average around 9% saving. So it equates to $151,000 in savings. And from that point of switching the filters on and installation of the VSDs for refrigeration plant, we've had no internal power outages. We have had several external power outages, but nothing from internal. AusNet have given me some very interesting reasons why we've had external ones, which I won't go into, but it's some of them are quite comical. But we've had, I think, since we started this back up externally, we had one this week with the high winds and high temperatures on Friday, and prior to that, I think it was another 3. We've had a car hit a power pole, and then a couple of ones on windy days through that windy period, but nothing major. So in saying that, we've saved roughly since April around $320,000 in downtime and energy savings as well. So total savings over the 5 months, 471 as a rough number, so approximately 100,000 a month, which really the business didn't think that was going to happen. I think the whole project, it's a fairly large investment for the project, but the project really wasn't about return. It was all about power quality and really getting ready so we could install solar. But I think at the beginning, the project was only going to return something like $200,000 a year, which it's set probably it can return, if you looked at lost production, over $1 million in the 12 months. So total emissions reduction, 1,600 tons of CO2, resulting in 80,000 less trees for CO2 offset. And there's the project architecture, which is put together by AZZO. As you can see along the bottom, you'll see there's the 10 harmonic filters with UPS capability yet to be installed, and the VSDs on your right vertically, and all the metering around the site. So we've got the ION 9000s and the 8000 metering, several different areas. So we have up to the date energy usage and any faults we can look at immediately. And I think we're capturing about every 5 seconds or 10 seconds data, but we can drill down into that when there's a power failure and get really right into the flickers or the sags or losses within milliseconds. So we've got full visibility of the data, and we've got data usage or energy usage, should I say, sorry, and the other ones we can see costs. So we have up to the minute of what we're using, so we can actually start then allocating costs around the plant, and really see where we're actually spending money and what the actual products are costing, so we can do real product analysis from a cost perspective and allocate energy usage to that area. So yeah, that's basically in a nutshell, really. If you got any questions, send them through or contact me directly, and I can respond. Thank you.
Fantastic. Phil and Aaron, congratulations on a marvelous project. $100,000 per month of hard money savings, Phil, but Did you put a price tag on the headaches and the reduced headaches?
Was that working with AZZO or? No.
Yeah.
Just working with me, mate.
I imagine with that production, you've got some happier workers around there and less panics and less late nights and things. Huh?
Well, it's just in the food waste itself, because once the lines go down, and even if it's only for 5 seconds, 10 seconds, it's the recovery of starting everything back up again. I mean, all these services, the whole plant, it's so big and vast. It just takes a lot of time to start it back up. And after 1 hour on the line, your dough quality, you've lost it, so you have to throw dough away. And we've got a live product, so from the minute you start making dough until the product's put into a box, it's nearly 3 hours by the time it goes through the process.
Yeah.
So you've got 3 hours of products. If you're making, if we look at our fastest line, which makes party pies, it's 60,000 pies an hour. So if you equate that into weight and everything, say a party pie is 50 grams and you've got 60,000 of them every hour, that's what you're wasting.
Oh, brilliant. So such a great project. And Aaron was speaking to you a few months back, and that aha moment of as you do more energy efficiency, adding on VSDs and more electrical items and LEDs and what have you,
Yeah,
you increase your issues with power factors. That to me, talking to you recently, is like, oh my goodness, there's an aha moment. You know, most of us got our heads down trying to get this stuff implemented, not realizing this is the implications and the power factor implications from that. So thanks for sharing.
And said on the back of that is that we're currently an LV customer, and with all this work that AZZO have done, and it's puts in a place now that we become a HV, so we become a lot better, and then we get solar.
Yep. Yeah.
And batteries, hopefully.
It'll come